it should have happened sooner. But we've been working hard at it, and so has he. And like I say, I don't live by that close in this league because everything's close in the NFL. I hate when people say you're close. Everybody's close. But it's good to see. He's a good player, and he's really developed as a returner. And I'm happy for him and happy for the players. Man, they did a good job on that play.
Corliss, what went into the decision to bring him back when you had the injury to Cam, and how good has it been for you guys?
There's a familiarity, you know, with people you've had before. Not that that's a determinant factor, but there's a familiarity, and obviously in our situation with the kicker that we have, the holding is very important. And I believe we could teach a holder. You know, we've done that over the time, and we've had some guys that some raps against them that have been there, not good holders, and now we know how to develop a holder, and we had developed him before, and everybody was comfortable with that. So that's how he got invited back, to be honest with you. He's a real pro, and he won that competition when we had all those punters in. The punter we played the other night was one of those guys we had in. And he's punting good. He really is. He's punting pretty good. He's punting better than he did in his workout. But Calvin won that workout, you know, with those punters, and the familiarity put us a little over the edge to go make a decision to go with him.
Who are some of the younger guys that have stepped up in the detail department as far as special teams and just the day-to-day assignments that they do?
You know, and I don't like to use names, and not that I'm hiding anything, but I forget somebody. And then that guy's in my office, like, why do you mention me? Why do you do this? So I try to stay away from the names of people who are developing, people that are playing good, because God forbid you always miss one, and you don't think that's important to those guys. And they're in my office, and I ain't got time to justify why I missed your name. We have a good young set of guys that have come off practice squad, that have been here with us and just been inactive, and it's a good, solid group. You know, we're demanding. And I evaluate practice squad players in practice. I take time to meet with them, and I review tape with them. There's an expectation, and they have done a good job of showing what we're going to see on Sunday in game. You know, my job is to break all that down, and my job is to teach it to them, draw cards, do those things. So it's a process. It really is, and that's been very transitional, and it always is on all the teams. But that group has been a good group. There's nobody that really stands out that's better. There's nobody stand out that's a weak link. I commend our practice squad for setting up what we do in game, and I'm just demanding on them as well. They're just not here because they're not playing on Sunday. I believe that they're the preparers for Sunday's performance, and I give them credit for that. They've done a good job.
How much can you use Calvin's punt return to reinforce to some of these young guys, especially the importance of downfield blocking, chip blocking, the blocks that kind of sprung that return?
Yeah, success breeds that, you know. I mean, it does it itself. And when you got a unit that's blocking kicks and returning punts, you different. I mean, you just really different. And it's a hard preparation, you know, for an opposing team. You know, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to rush us. You're going to, you know, how you going to play us? You know, and things like that. You know, in the punt game. So that's been a factor that we've tried to develop in accordance with the block. So it speaks for itself when they see it on tape. I just went through the tape with the players, and I really take time, because we got time, to tell them, you know, my thought process. What I'm thinking here, why I'm thinking here, because I just, as a coach, believe that players play better when they know what they're doing and why they're doing it. And that's really what I live by in my meetings and things. I want them to know what they're doing and why they're doing it. And we've had some really good sessions lately on that. With a Monday night game, you got an extra day. You know, with a Sunday night game, you got an extra meeting. So that has really taken off for us. But and now they're beginning to really understand that. They know what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Yeah, not a huge sample size with the kickoff return so far. I assume you're thinking that's going to change when the weather gets a little bit different. Have you learned enough through these first 8 games to know how to approach that now?
At this point, it's all the information we have. Is it enough? No, man. I don't think 8 games is a study. But it is all the information we have. So we're using it a lot. I think you'll see things in discussions come up after the season to see where we go and how we go. The commissioner was at the game on Monday night, and he and I had a conversation before the game about that very thing. And not that conversation was private or secret or anything like that, but he mentioned some things to me that leads me to believe there's a lot more discussion going to happen after this season.
Your group has just been making.
Go ahead. Yeah, no,
your
go
group
ahead.
has been making splash play after splash play pretty consistently throughout this season. Just from your perspective, what is it like seeing that playmaking ability time in, time out?
It developed. We have a standard here. It was set by players far before I got here, and now there's an expectation, and with that expectation becomes a responsibility. I have a responsibility in preparation. The players have a responsibility, and I just went through that with them as well in our meeting this morning. Obviously, it's fun when you win. It's a lot more fun. It's probably more fun for you guys too when we win. The whole city. It's fun for a city when you win. Joe Gibbs had a saying when I worked with Coach Gibbs, and his saying was, every Monday morning, 32 cities, 16 of these cities are happy and 16 of these cities are sad. Let's get on the happy side. And so it's been fun in that sense. And now it's an expectation. I get hit with it a lot. I get hit with it by coaches. I'm talking about our coaches. We got to win games. My mission is to get in this hunt on our own. I tell the players consistently, 2 years ago we needed help to get in the playoffs and we didn't get it. Last year we needed help and we got it. How about we help ourselves? And that's been my whole mission this year. What are we doing to help ourselves? And so that has developed into some of those plays, but it's fun, and it's fun for those guys, man. It's nice to see those guys, come in the building happy. I've been on teams that, 8 games in, you're struggling, and these meetings ain't no fun, man. I walk in a meeting, I can't wait to get in that meeting, and we got guys early in a meeting. You deal with these guys. When they show up early for a meeting, things are going good.
Coach, kind of going off of that too, every time those splash plays happen, it seems like all the guys come over, gather around you, freak out, pump you up and stuff. Does that speak to the camaraderie and kind of the chemistry across the board with you guys?
We're in this together, I promise you. And that's another thing I stress. It ain't just about them, it ain't just about me, it's about us, and we are definitely in this together. But I told them to stay the hell away from me. Man, I got 300-pounders shaking me and stuff. Dan Morgan shakes me after that one game. He said, I didn't know you were so light. I said, what the hell you think I do? I ain't lifting weight, 300 pounds, I ain't you. Stay the hell away from me. Okay, just crazy things like that, and it's been fun from that. But they beat the hell out of me that day, man. I'm sore. I didn't even play. I'm probably going to be the first coach you see on the sideline in a shoulder pad and helmet.
You are going viral on social media and everything. Do they show you those clips?
Honestly, and I know people say, this puzzles me. I am aware, but honestly, I don't see it. I honestly don't. I get sent to me, I click it off. I just don't have time. It's not that I don't appreciate it. It's not that I'm not proud of it. It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I'm anti all that crap. I don't have time to fool with it, man. I just don't. I work my butt off, and that's my job, and I take it serious. And I just don't have time for that stuff. And people, did you see this? Did you see that? And every now and then and if they don't have it clicked up, I can't wait for you to click it up. Like, I got to go. That's fun, but I'm just not that guy. I'm just not that guy.
Danny, one of the things that has been talked about this year is how easy it's now getting to kick field goals, and maybe that will be addressed after the season. Should they make it easier or harder to kick field goals? And
I'm a bad
what more
guy
can they do to you guys?
I'm a bad guy to ask about that, and I'll tell you why. One of the worst statements that I ever hear when I watch a broadcast is a chip shot. Okay, there's a process, man, on these kicks. I just think I think it's become easier because the players are more detailed in their work. I do. I mean, when you got to snap and you got to hold and that ball got to be leaned right and all those kind of things and kicking it and the distances and that, I credit the specialists. I do. I give all that credit to the snapper, the holder, and the kickers in this league. They are specialists, man, and they work their butt off on stuff like that. And the game hasn't changed, the fields haven't changed, the goalpost hasn't changed. None of those. The weather hasn't changed. None of those things have changed. And so how has it become more proficient? Only through their work, man. I don't believe that it's easier. I just believe in the work ethic of these holders, kickers, and punters throughout this league. I do. I give them credit, man. They work their butt off to make it more easy or natural or whatever term you want to use, because nothing else has changed. The ball ain't changed, the goalposts ain't changed, the field ain't changed, the hazards ain't changed. So what has changed? The individuals have changed. And I tip my hat off to them for the work that they put in. And you see it, when people changing kickers or people changing holders, because of a punter. There ain't no chip shot, man. There's a process here. And it's difficult, but these players have perfected it.
Danny, do you offer Boz any advice, or you let him do what he does?
No, we have a program that we do, we have a program that we follow. He and I communicate on that. He has input as well, as all players do. I'm not saying I'll do it, but I'll listen. And then we arrive at a program, he and I, and it's been very good, and it's working. And we did some different things in the last couple of years. We don't kick 48 hours before a game anymore. We started that last year. That's why we don't kick on Fridays. You don't see us kick on Fridays anymore. Because it's 48 hours prior to game time, and that's been a change. So he and I work through those things, and it's been a real good relationship, and he's really playing well.